Hi, I'm Rick, and it's good to see you folks at Eastside again. And this is my daughter Brianna, and we're glad to be a part of your father-daughter banquet. And I've had quite a bit of single parenting and parenting with a mom and a stepmom of a daughter, and got some pretty strong opinions about the relationship between a father and a daughter. I believe that outside of God, the most significant person in your daughter's life is you. She learns what to expect from a man, how to relate to a man. She learns whether she can trust a man from her relationship with her father. And all of that transfers into her relationship with God. And Bree has observed in the lives of her friends both good and bad relationships with fathers. I was going to let her talk for just a moment about some of the things she's observed in the life of teenage girls.
First thing right off the bat that I notice is in my friends that have relationships with their fathers that are good. A lot less, their dating life is a lot different from the ones that have not so great relationships with their fathers. They tend to not be as boy crazy and a little more balanced when it comes to their dating life and their friend life. On the other hand, girls that have distant relationships with their fathers, or they don't feel comfortable talking to them about stuff, tend to be a lot more vulnerable with guys because they're looking for that attention that they never quite got from their dad. And they find it, because that's what guys are looking for. They find it in other guys. So that's right off the bat what I notice.
I have a real open relationship with Bree. That just comes from my parenting, where my parents had an open relationship with me. We can talk about most anything. There have been times in our relationship where I know that Bree has perceived me to be harder on her, but I think the older she gets, the more understanding she gets, because she's not going to say anything different than that now, are you?
No.
And we've got a great relationship. I've gone through a lot of stages with Bree, and just about to get to that stage in her life where I set her free. She makes the majority of her own decisions, and we have gone from a relationship to where I mandated lots to where now I try to take a little bit of a back seat and only insert opinion when she asks for it. And that's been difficult for me. But my job is to raise kids and set them free to be what God wants them to be. And that's my struggle, my journey, my job in this life.
I've noticed that for me, a lot of people question trusting God, or why isn't God there for me kind of thing. And a lot of my friends do that. They go through things and they're like, well, God isn't helping me out at all here, or He's not here for me, or I can't trust Him with this kind of thing. And for me, it's never been a huge problem, wondering if God is there for me. And I think that probably has something to do with the fact that I can trust my dad, and he's been a good example for me of what a father should look like. And friends that I have that their relationships aren't so great, that tends to be more of a prominent issue with them, wondering why, or feeling like God isn't there, not being able to trust that God is there for them. And I think that probably definitely stems from having a good relationship with my dad.
We have some interesting stories about dating. Bree had a number of hoops through which she had to jump before she could date. She had to read some books that we outlined for her. One of them was called Dateable. And then we wrote a contract of what we would do, what we wouldn't do, expectations. We had age requirements, and then one of the big things that I required was that you had to spend significant time with us. Whether that was me by myself or now me and her stepmom, and that a young man had to be comfortable in our family setting, and that's where we get to know him. And if he wasn't, I couldn't really feel like I could trust him with Bree. And Bree makes good choices. She makes really good choices about the guys in her life, and so that's one of the things we've done as a father and daughter.
Trust in your parents.
Yeah. Would you like to tell them how great a father I am?
He's a great father.
I mean, would you like to give them specific examples?
He's always right.
We have fun. We laugh a lot at our house.
The majority of the time your parents are correct about dating. I had many arguments about, like how I wanted things to be, and how he was kind of imparting wisdom upon me and I didn't want to hear it. The majority of the time parents are right. That isn't what you want to hear, but the majority of the time they are. So go ahead and listen, because they've been through it, and kind of let your pride take the hit and take the advice.
All right. Hope this helps you guys. I hope you enjoy your banquet, and I hope that God can use this to encourage some of you dads and some of you daughters. Thanks a lot.